What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Film Side Chats. My name is
Yippee!
Nate, and I'm of course here with our lovely co-host, Alec P.
Hello.
And today, we're gonna be doing a bit of talking about movie theaters. Big fans of them, except when people are not big fans of being good people in movie theaters,
True.
because it happens, unfortunately, more than we'd like to think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've all been there, I think, at some point where somebody's being an asshole in a movie theater, and you just kind of gotta sit there and go, "Huh." I mean, I guess it's less frequent now
Yeah.
than it was before COVID.
I mean, I I've weirdly enough had more recent experiences than in the past because
Well, I
I don't
you
know.
go ahead.
Like I feel like after COVID or like after like movie theaters shut down because of COVID and stuff and it reopened, there's been such a long amount of time between just watching streaming movies that some people just have lost common sense in movie theaters,
Yeah.
um, which I'll be definitely highlighting in some of my stories. Because
Well, I don't know,
uh, some people.
cause where I grew up, there was, I mean, most people were kind enough to be, respectful in the movie theater. But a lot of it was we took it for granted.
Hmm.
So some people would go in there and just wreck shit up. And to be fair, it's not to say that there isn't people fucking shit up now.
Looking
I mean,
at
just look.
you, Minions Rise of
Yeah,
Gru.
I was about to say the Gentle Minions. Most of them, from what I can tell, pretty okay group. But some
Hmm.
of them are literally like breaking the fucking projecting screen
Yeah.
and like literally mosh pitting in the movie theater. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, dude.
It's common sense. Don't do that.
And anyone who is thinking of going to one of these kind of screenings, please, please respect the theater.
Yeah. Like me and Alec have on record dressed up and gone around and fucked around at movie theaters.
Hmm.
Like we've both done that, right?
Yep.
But not to the point where we're being like a nuisance to everybody else.
Yeah, we don't ruin the experience.
Because we enjoy movies the same as everybody else.
We
So
love
we're not gonna go
movies.
in there. We are a bit of movie enjoyers. I don't know if you guys can tell that, but yeah,
Yeah.
because you go to a movie, you sit down, and then you watch the movie. You can fuck around a little bit, but usually if it's like, because I know for me and a couple friends, if there's like one or two people in in the room aside from us, we can fuck around a little bit.
Yeah.
We can do a little bit of trolling. But if it's like a packed theater, I'm not gonna fucking make a big deal out of some stuff. I'm not gonna cause a scene.
Oh, we
I don't
are.
want to be an asshole.
I have possibly caused a scene one time.
Really.
Yeah. Should
What
should
what
we
the
just
what did you
start it
do?
up and I'll
Yeah.
open with that?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So, just for the record, just saying the scene, I was not the one who started it. Um,
Why
I
why would you start with that?
it's just hear me out. So
Okay.
this is opening night, Thursday, first showing for Jurassic World Dominion, right?
Ugh.
And for anyone who's not aware, I enjoy Jurassic Park. I like it a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, I was looking forward to this one. And so I go into the theater, right? And I knew beforehand there were a seat of about five people to the right of me. And it was weird because we're about 10 minutes into the movie and they don't show up. And I'm like, okay, weird, but whatever. I guess they're not coming. They come like bumbling in really loudly about 20 minutes into the movie. And I don't know if they were drunk or what, but like these people were very, very disruptive and loud. They come in, they sit down, they have their phone flashlights on, and they're keeping them on. They're keeping their phones out, and they're just bumbling and mum. It was super annoying, but eventually, about after maybe 5 minutes, they die down, and so I'm like, okay, they're done. I can watch the movie, and I'm having a blast with this movie. Uh, Not because it's great, but because I get to see the original cast. But next thing you know, these girls to next to me keep talking like at a very loud noise like level, like kind of like this level, which is not what you should be doing. Um, they're also like yelling, "Oh, Jeff Goldblum, you're so hot," and stuff like that. And I get to a point where I'm like, hey, I literally look over and I'm like, hey, can you guys please be quiet? There's people in here trying to enjoy the movie. And keep in mind, this movie was pretty packed actually. It was a pretty busy screening of Jurassic World. Shocking, but it was like packed. So like, there's other people also dealing with this.
Yeah.
So I asked them to be quiet, and the girl closest to me actually was really respectful and was like, "Oh yeah, sorry," and she actually was quiet for the rest of the movie, which I am very grateful for. But the rest of her friends, oh my god, dude, they kept going, and then I ask again, and they start making this big scene. They're like, "We paid the same as amount of money as you. We can do whatever we want in here and stuff." And I just lost my mind. I was like, listen, people here are trying to enjoy the movie. You don't talk at this level.
Yeah.
Either shut up or go.
Yeah.
And they were still a nuisance, but they were a little more quiet. And it was really funny because after like there was like a third and fourth time they did it, and that time actually my dad handled it, and he was like telling them to be quiet because they obviously were not listening to me. And eventually, like, I think it was like 45 minutes left of the film, they just got up and left. It I don't know why, but they did. And
Uh, I mean,
it was the best 45 minutes of my life.
dude, all I have to
But
say is them fucking around might unironically be more interesting than anything that happened on screen in Jurassic World Dominion. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry
you
to tell
see,
you that.
maybe, but at the same time, I
Yeah.
I'm trying to enjoy my Jeff Goldblum.
And these people are being dickheads about it.
Dude, they were such assholes. Like that's really what it was. Like if they were just ignorant, I wouldn't have an issue. But it's the fact they were combative as well, just to the idea of, hey, there's other people trying to enjoy the movie. Please respect it. It's just that. It's sort of the lack of respect that really got under my nerves.
Yeah.
But that was a very recent, probably one of the worst experiences I've had. And
I mean, I had a pretty not similar but pretty close experience on New Year's Day 2020. Which first
oh,
of all, is it me or like do movie theaters open on New Year's Day? Are they open usually?
uh, a lot of the ones I go to usually do. I
Be-
usually make an effort to go.
Because I honestly didn't know if it was, so I went in and I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, we're open. I was like, what? But anyway, um, so I went to see Wonder Woman 1984. So it was already going to be a
Oh,
terrible experience either way. So I go in and I go to my seat. By the way, I usually order tickets ahead of time because I'm a
mhm.
little bit of a fucking loser. But I go to my seat and there's popcorn, like a popcorn bin just sitting on my seat and there's nobody there. And
What?
so I move it and I sit down, like any normal person would do
Of course.
if that happened. And then these two very I need to say this very respectfully, very large, I
Mhm.
think around 30 or 40-year-old like couple
Oh,
walk
okay.
over and they're like, "Did you test this?" And and You know, like when you're baffled about something, where you like have to like blink for a second and be like, "Am I
Yeah,
dreaming? Is this
yeah.
real?" I did that, and I just look up at them, and they're like staring down at me, with, and they're like, "Did you do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I moved your
Yeah,
popcorn
yeah.
because I needed to sit here." And they were like, "I can't fucking believe you would move our ship.
Did
What
they
the
sound?
fuck's wrong with you?" Well, and keep in mind, this is before the movie.
Yeah.
So this is like 20 minutes before the movie. I sit down, and these people come in like 5 minutes later. And
Mhm.
I shit you not, dude. They were like, they were actually so mad about the fact that I moved their
God.
popcorn to the floor. They were so pissed.
An
Because
important
they're like,
question.
yeah.
Did they actually sound like Cartman from South Park?
Dude, I honestly, the way that I remember it, yeah.
Oh
The
my
way I
God.
remember it, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because maybe this is me like being a little bit dramatic, but they sounded like Cars, at least in my memory.
Oh God.
But they were so mad. They were so mad. They were like, if someone walks through here and they knock over a popcorn, it's gonna be your fault. And so they sit it next to the seat, like right to the left of me, which is like, oh
Mhm.
my god, are they gonna sit next to me this fucking movie? Dude, I can't. Which I could not. Because first of all, I have to sit here and watch Wonder Woman 1984,
Yeah,
which already
yeah.
means this is gonna fucking suck. But if I have to sit next to these two people for the rest of the movie, I might just like go up, climb the ladder to the roof, and then jump off because I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with that. So, they don't come in by the time the movie starts. By the way, they
Oh.
they did not come in at all.
Oh yeah.
They come back in like 10 minutes later, and they don't sit down next to me. They take their bucket of popcorn and they sit in the first row in the front
What?
of the movie theater, which is like, first of all, we don't have like the reclining seats, which
Yeah.
means these people are like craning their neck at like a 45-degree angle.
Why?
You know, they could probably see the individual pixels on the screen at this point. And then they get up there and they're watching the movie, and I'm like, I think 45 minutes in. I don't even remember how far it in because this
Mhm.
movie is forgettable, but they just stand up and they go out into the aisles and they sit in the stairway on the, and I'm
What?
like, are you people fucking stupid? Because
What?
listen, none of this makes sense to me. I'm like, there has to be like drugs or alcohol involved. There is no way these people are sober doing this.
Was this a
And then,
crowded theater?
eh, not really. I'd say it
Why
was
didn't they
probably around
just sit somewhere
20,
else?
20, 30 people in like a 150 capacity. So
God.
there's a ton of seats available, and they just don't go to them. They just don't. She she just waltz. They just walk their way on into the aisle stairway and
Huh.
sit down. And at this point, I'm like, oh, am I gonna have to call security? Am I gonna have to get somebody? But yeah, they just sat there for the rest of the movie, and
What?
then I get up and leave
Yeah.
when like the moment the credits hit, because I'm like, I'm fucking done with this movie. I don't care. And then I go out to my car, and I just sitting there, I'm texting somebody's, be like, wow, this movie fucking sucks balls. And then um I look like right out the door, and it's the couple,
Oh no.
and they're walking to their car that has like a broken headlight,
Oh.
like just the most fucked up car you can think of. Like imagine T-boning a car and then driving that car still.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
Like, yeah. Um and they didn't fit either. So they get in, and then they drive off, and then they drive, and then if it, almost poetically, right?
Hmm.
They jump the curb when they
Oh my
when they leave.
God.
And I'm like, wow.
What a
Because
beautiful.
I'm still confused to this day why they didn't sit in the seats. I
Yeah.
don't know what
Yeah.
was going on.
Who knows?
Dude, I have never
What?
seen those people again, but I hope they're doing well, because Jesus Christ, I think that was the better experience compared to having to watch Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah. at least you got a good story out of it.
At least I got it. Yeah,
That
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
matters.
yeah,
But like I I've had similar sort of incidents, not like popcorn wise, but like
yeah,
someone thought we took their seat.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
it happened to us. What? At Doctor Strange, right?
did it?
I'm pretty sure
I was not paying attention like at all. So
because we go up because for reference we booked tickets to Doctor Strange. I think like what a month ahead.
yeah, yeah, right when they came out.
So we had that. We had a group of like 8 people. So we go up to the stairway, and there's like 2 people sitting in like the seats where we are, and I'm guessing they just like bought them
Yeah.
at the thing or whatever. And we asked them to move, and they were cool about it. Which is nice. You like it when people
Oh,
are
that's the
usually chill
best
about
thing.
that.
It's so nice when they're just respectful. It's really not hard, but it's
Well,
so
well, it's
nice.
like, it's like obviously, with these more modern movie theaters, most of the time you usually book ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
At least if you're in a generally populated area, because we were
Hmm.
outside a pretty major city,
Yeah, yeah.
so we booked those ahead of time, and then like what 5 days later it was like full. So well, because actually never mind, because there might have been like 10 showings of
Yeah,
Doctor Strange
yeah.
that
They
day.
they always stack them,
Yeah,
but
but yeah, usually people book ahead, but there's still people who walk
yeah,
in
there's
and do that.
some, uh, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's the way you
No,
roll.
yeah,
But I do have one story that actually you were there for. It's
I
the at the great movie of uh the massive weight of unbearable talent
yeah,
with Nick Cage, who is
pretty.
one of my favorite actors of all time.
Alec, I think you fucked up the title.
What? Did
It's
I?
unbearable weight of massive talent. Yeah.
Fuck. Is it?
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I'm looking at my Blu-ray of it right
shoot.
here,
Then
so I
yeah,
hope that
yeah.
it's right.
So we were at that movie, right? And we sit down, and Nate and I were with 2 other friends,
Yeah.
and so we were on opposite ends of the seats we had, and I have no clue what was going on Nate's side, but I
I
was
can tell
sitting
you
on
when you're done.
the outer side of mine, and there were these 2 people. It was a dad and his son, or I assume is his son, and this was at a the first screening for Unbearable Talent.
Leave early as well.
Or yeah, I think I was in early.
It wasn't early.
And
Yeah.
it was the weirdest thing because the entire movie is just they looked miserable. Like they did not look like they wanted to be there. And then like I heard them like sign and stuff. And then at the end of the movie, the dad just looks over at the son and was like, "That was a good movie." The son goes, "Yep," and they get up and leave. And there's it was just so strange because I kid you not, I kept looking over in that direction because they kept like sighing and shifting and stuff, which I didn't have an issue with that, but I kept looking over because like they just looked like they were having the worst time of their life, and just it felt so crazy just to hear him go, "That was a good movie, yep," and just leave, like.
Dude. Dude, you know what? I have a theory about this, right?
Yeah.
Mom had to kick him out of the house
Yep.
because
Yep.
they were like, you two need to fucking go do something. And then like she had like a spy sitting like in the back, like behind them, like like making them watch the movie. Like you will watch the movie and you
Nick,
will like it.
Nick
And
Cage
then when the
himself.
movie's done, the dad's like, "Oh shit, there's a spy behind me.
Yep. Yep.
We need to make it act like you enjoyed this fucking movie." Hey son, that was a good movie, wasn't it? Sure was, Dad.
Yeah, like it's either like that's my weirdest like crowd experience or going to Jackass and having the this dad bring his like 5-year-old kids
What the
to it.
fuck?
Yeah, this was at our local theater too, just so you can
What?
kind of gauge it. And
Oh my god.
it was super funny because they get to the one scene in Jackass where they like are using a machine to punch a dude's balls,
Yeah.
and the father and the kids proceed to stand up and leave. And I thought they
That
were
was
leaving because the movie, but then they come back with more popcorn, and I'm like, what?
dude. The balls scene was too good.
It
That was their cue to say.
those are like the two like crowd things I just vividly remember.
Well, I mean, recently, I went to go see Top Gun Maverick at the start of June, and I
Hmm.
at my local theater on Tuesdays it's $5, so it's usually pretty busy. I get there like I think 20 minutes early because I usually gauge the time of like okay, 20 minutes early is usually a good time because it's usually when it's not that full. Because I mean, Top
Hmm.
Gun Maverick's a pretty big movie. I didn't think it
Yeah.
was gonna be like as big as it was when I walked in. I shit you not. I walk in, there's one seat available.
What?
Everything else is like like 50-year-old dads and
Oh
their
yeah.
wives that
Yep.
are probably like being forced to go with them. That is the entire crowd in the movie theater. And I sit down, and the woman next to me just goes, "You are the youngest person in this entire theater."
What?
I literally was. I was the
Yeah.
youngest person in the theater.
Yeah, that was me at Elvis.
Dude, dude, and Elvis too. I haven't gone to Elvis, but I have to assume that the
Oh
average
my god.
age of someone going is 40 or above. There's
I
no way like a 20-year-old is gonna be caught in
I kid you
watching
not.
Elvis.
I was the youngest one there, and my dad leaned over to me and was like, oh, "All these people were alive for Elvis. That's why
Yeah,
they're here."
dude. Yeah,
Like,
dude.
oh, it was so funny. But like, Top Gun and Elvis are the elderly blockbusters
Yeah.
of the year, like without question.
I mean, really, yeah.
No, I gotta ask you, do you have any really deep dive theater experiences that like you haven't told anyone?
What is your definition by deep dive?
Um, like you are embarrassed to
Oh.
admit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can do
I
this. I can
let's
do
hear
that.
it
I can
because
do
I have
that.
one. I have one, but
Okay. So, oh man, this was I think 2018.
okay.
Or no, it'd be 2019. Um Avengers Endgame.
Oh God.
So you gotta understand, we're talking the biggest of the big here.
Yep.
This was like I think 3 days after it came out, so it's still relatively big. But I
All
went
right.
to a late showing because I was smart enough to know that like obviously it wouldn't be as packed,
Yeah.
but it was still pretty packed. Um so I walk on in, movie's going fine, whatever. We get to the portal scene,
Okay.
you know, the biggest scene in the MCU.
Yeah, where everyone in the theater
I
loses their mind.
I like as a normal human being geeked the fuck out, dude. And then I have no idea if like everyone in the room just like hates movies or whatever. I don't think there was a single reaction to literally
Really?
anything that happened during the movie at all.
Wow.
Like the whole like stereotype about like the audience reaction to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Marvel movie. There's like 40 and 50 people in this audience, and not one of them has made like a meaningful sound in like the last hour.
Hmm. Yeah. That,
So we get to that scene, everybody's dead silent, and I'm just like, oh my god, Iron Man, oh my Spider Man, and like I'm trying to be quiet, but it's not really that quiet
yeah.
because everyone else is dead silent, and then there's just me going, Black Panther, it's Black Panther, oh my god, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, dude, and I remember, like when the movie's over,
Hmm.
everyone's leaving the theater, and they look over in my direction as they walk out, and I'm like, fuck you guys,
Yeah.
fuck you guys, because listen, just enjoy the fucking movie. It's like the biggest part of the MCU you'll ever get. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. And if when I think about it, because like, you know, it really wasn't worth geeking out over. Like it was cool as fuck,
Yeah, yeah.
but it was not worth like losing my mind over.
Yeah, my theater when I went to that lost their goddamn mind
It was
to
so
it,
quiet.
it was the that was probably one of the best like crowd reactions. But before I tell my really embarrassing one, I want to real quick talk about the one I had when I was watching Men. And if you haven't seen Men already, I'm going to basically spoil the ending. Um, but basically, I'm sitting in the theater, right? There's like a good like maybe 30 people there, and we get to the end scene where there's like four births,
Yeah,
and every the first birth, the people behind me go, "What the fuck?"
like
And
understandably though.
understandably, and then each birth they just give a progressively louder ew after every single one. It was so funny. It, but I think that it was great because they were right behind me too, and at the end of it, they were like, "That was definitely a movie."
Yeah,
It was so funny, but
I get that.
that was like the low crowd reaction one that you just kind of brought back to my memory. But
Yeah.
the one story I real that inspired this episode actually is I went to go see um the zombie movie World War Z, I think it's called, with Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've told you a bit of this story, but that is the one movie I actually walked out of. Um, Not because it's bad. I've never finished the movie. It's because it scared me too much. And like I didn't watch a horror movie until it came out because of World War Z. And I remember in the theater we were sitting there, and I think it's the opening scene. I was actually like screaming and crying
Oh my
because I
God.
was scared, and I I don't remember if this is just looking back or if this actually happened, but I might have like pissed myself a little bit, like actually.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, like this movie scared me so bad, and it's to the point I refuse to go back and actually sit down and watch it because I
Cause
remember feeling
how
that
old were
scared.
you?
Um, I had to be like maybe 10, 12.
Yeah. Cause I
Like,
would think you had to be pretty young.
yeah, yeah, I was pretty young. It was actually, I think, the first R-rated movie my parents were like, yeah, you can see it. Um, and it just did not go to plan.
Yeah, that was, dude.
Yeah, it
Dude,
scared me.
yikes.
It's that, and then the trailer for, I think, Mama. Those two barred me from watching any kind of horror until it came out, the remake. Like
Okay.
it's bad.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here,
yeah, yeah.
but were there any like movie related things that as a kid that like scared you senseless aside from like these two?
Those well, I would have to think. Do you have one that you can share while
Because
I think?
I have one, but it is so fucking niche
I
that like
I want to hear
if
it.
if no one understands what I'm talking about, then I'm gonna sound like I'm going crazy, right?
Hmm.
So on Disney DVDs,
Yeah.
like from when I came out, there was these things during the previews. They'd be like coming soon, the theater. You know, like that shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That scared the fuck out of me as a
Really?
kid. Yeah,
Was
because
it The
I don't remember.
Voice?
I think it's the voice and the music because the music is like low. It's like
Oh yeah,
bassy low,
yeah.
and how it would be is you'd put the DVD in, and then I
Hmm.
would like rush, like run to the couch so I can put a blanket over my head when that came on because that scared the shit out of me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Oh,
like
I don't know what like brought that on. It was that and then the beginning of Shrek. I was mortified about Shrek, the beginning of Shrek when I was a
like
kid.
like Shrek taking a shower.
Like Shrek in the shitter, and then he like opens up the door, and then I would like freeze, like I was like stuck. I couldn't move.
Okay.
My my body literally said, "All right, bro, that's it."
Yeah, I don't know if I have like anything that level cuz
Cause
like
it's so weird.
yeah, cuz like my big one was a a kid just told me about Pennywise.
Yeah.
And that gave me nightmares for years. And that was in 5th grade. Um but like other than that, it's a lot of the like pretty typical stuff like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Um actually no, I got one. I love this movie now, but back then it terrified me. Chicken Run.
Chicken Run?
Chicken Run was the scariest thing I watched when I was a kid.
What?
Yep. I don't know why. I have no idea why it scared me so much, but I remembered like first time watching it, like it gave me nightmares. Like I was a chicken and I was gonna be made into a pie.
Jesus.
Like it was bad.
Well, my fears are irrational, right?
Uh-huh.
Like looking back on it. But it's even weirder because like I was scared by like a previews thing and Shrek opening a door. But as like me as a 2-year-old, I would watch the beginning of Finding Nemo and be like, "There's nothing wrong here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong here."
I
And then like The Incredibles, like the entirety of The Incredibles, which is as dark as it is, I was like, "This is fine. I
yeah.
don't care."
It's so odd and especially cuz like also I know a lot of people get creeped out on Coraline.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite movie as a kid.
No,
I
Coraline's
love that.
cool.
But like at the same time, Chicken Run scared me. Like
Like
it doesn't
Chicken
add
Run.
up. It does not add up.
Chicken Run.
But like I've rewatched Chicken Run. I don't think it's scary anymore. Just to
Well,
clarify, that movie does not
well,
scare me anymore.
yeah. Obviously, Shrek doesn't scare me anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I'd hope not.
Yeah.
But like it's so weird like the really small things that just utterly scare us.
Yeah, I don't get it. It was so weird.
But
And that was a big ass tangent.
yeah, yeah, that was
Jeez.
it's like I don't. Oh, I have one more story I can
Yeah.
share. And I think I know a story you'll want to share after I mention this.
Okay.
But I went to go see um, Sam Raimi produced movie Crawl when it came
Hmm.
out. This was maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I think I was a junior in high school or a sophomore, I don't know.
Yeah.
But basically, I go into the theater, I sit down, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna watch Crawl. Uh, this is a point where I still can't handle horror movies that well, especially jump scares,
Hmm.
and uh, Crawl is filled with them. But it's weird because before the movie started, they do these "thank you for coming to the movies" thing, and then they
Yeah.
transition into it. But it stayed at that and just was dead silent for a good maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Hmm.
And we're just sitting there. And I was already extremely anxious for this movie, but like it built up because it's one, it's dead silent. Two, it's just this spinning wheel on a screen. And then I'm anticipating literally the worst of the worst. And so then we go tell them, hey, I think the theater broke. And they're like, oh yeah, my bad. We'll go check it out. And then they change it. And that was the I loved the movie. It was fun, but that was the most terrifying experience because the amount of anxiety that was built up for like 15 minutes of dead silence.
Dude, funnily enough, that does not happen to me once, but twice.
Really?
Yeah, because
I
you
I
know
know
the
the
one
Batman
time.
one.
You know the Batman one.
Share the Batman one for the people
So
listening.
so me, Alec, and a couple other buddies. Because me and Alec, no,
No,
you
I
hadn't seen
didn't.
it yet.
I wasn't friends
Yeah.
with you yet.
For prior context, I already went and saw the Batman like 2 days earlier. Because I went to an early showing 2 days earlier, and I was like, "This is the greatest movie this year. You guys have to come see this with us." So we bought tickets, and we go and see the Batman at the local theater. And I love the beginning of the movie. I think it's great. So we sit down. Usually, like almost everyone expects previews to go before the movie. There's none. The movie starts. There is no sound but country music. And for reference, they do this every time before the movie.
Yep.
They do
Yep.
like a Chevy, like the big ass Chevy. Enjoy the show, and then there's just country music in the background. It's just it was just country music over the beginning of the Batman for like 10 minutes,
The
and then
entire opening monologue.
literally the entire opening, like where Riddler's looking through the window at the mayor. It's just country music. There's nothing else. There's no music from the movie at all.
So
It's
weird.
muted except for the country music. And all of us, me and all the guys who went there before, are sitting there like, "Are you for real right now?" Because this is the opening night. This is opening night of the
Yeah.
Batman. So,
Oh my God.
some people in the audience, I was like cracking jokes. I was making fun of this shit. And some people in the front went out and they had to restart the entire movie, which means finally we got the previews and then they started the movie. But it was so funny because it's just country music, and it wasn't like loud country music. It was like muted, like I could barely hear it, but I can make out enough twang and like the sound of country music that I know it's country music.
That's amazing. Oh my
But
God.
I mean, it's an experience to behold when you can't hear a movie, but they totally fuck it up, and then you can just hear something else.
Just
Because what happened was, this was way back before we had digital cinema packages or DCPs that they use on the digital projectors
Mhm.
now. Um, this was back when it was still 35.
Okay.
They were running on 35 or 70. Um, which I don't even remember what the movie was, but it was a pretty long time ago. I was pretty young,
Hmm.
and it was it Monsters vs Aliens?
Oh.
It might have been. No, it wasn't. No, it
Oh,
wasn't. It
okay.
was something else. But um, so it's like midway through the movie. The projectionist gets to when you're supposed to do the real change.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He misses the cue,
Oh.
and the end of the reel hits. So it's like it's a movie, and then just darkness, the scroll at the end of the reel, and nothing.
Oh my God.
And I sat there like, the fuck is going on? Because I thought this was part of the movie. I
Yeah.
thought this was like it just ended. It was over. And I was like, I looked over to mom and I was like, is the movie over? She's like, I don't know. So
Wow.
I sat there for like the next 5 minutes, being like, "Wow, this is a really big creative decision that the movie decided to make here." Because I'm like 11 or 12. I don't
Yeah.
know any
Yeah.
better. But yeah, from that point forward, I think our local theater decided to go and switch all the projectors
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
from 35 to digital because that queue change was rough. Because you hate to see it. You
Oh
hate to
yeah.
see it.
It's if you're not prepared for it, it's rough.
Yeah.
But like, cause I even with switching over to digital, like I at least it was shown to me when I went to see a movie recently, The Gray Man, and it we were supposed to get really bad storms, and I was so scared that the power was gonna go out for the movie,
Yeah.
and I would have just like middle of the big action sequence just shuts down.
Yeah.
I would have cried.
Well, most movie theaters have a
But
backup, like a
mo-
backup generator.
most have backups, but the one I went to for it didn't.
What?
They were posting on every single screen or every single theater. Um, power might go out. and there is nothing we can do.
Are you for real?
Yeah, like it was I was so terrified because like why would you not have that? Number one, especially because it's their probably biggest theater
Why? Yeah,
um
what the fuck?
of the chain. And then also, like, I don't want to be in the middle of a movie and then next thing you know, the power goes out for this big scene and you don't have a solution.
Yeah.
That's not comforting to know. But uh, movie theaters can be whack sometimes, but I still love them.
Movie theaters are interesting on
Yeah,
occasion.
yeah. Oh, also, little PSA: don't bring your like 2 month year old to a movie.
Yeah, don't do that,
Because
please.
I had that happen to me with Marcel and Michelle with shoes on.